The political culture in Kazakhstan and other countries. Political culture in Kazakhstan. In the case of Kazakhstan, the country's political culture has been shaped by its Soviet past, its diverse ethnic and linguistic makeup, and its efforts to establish a modern, democratic political system. In Kazakhstan, political culture is characterized by a strong emphasis on consensus building, a respect for authority and hierarchy, and a preference for gradual, incremental change. These values are rooted in the country's Soviet past, where a centralized, authoritarian political system was the norm. Kazakhstan has achieved significant success. Kazakhstan has made significant strides towards political liberalization and democratization in recent years, including the establishment of a multi-party system, the introduction of competitive elections, and the development of civil society organizations. These changes have led to a growing culture of political participation and activism, with citizens increasingly engaged in political discourse and mobilization. Opposition. The political culture in Kazakhstan is characterized by a lack of political opposition and the dominance of the ruling party, Nua Otan. The government exercises tight control over the media and civil society organizations, limiting freedom of expression and assembly. There have been reports of human rights abuses, including the use of torture and the suppression of religious and ethnic minorities. 2021. In recent years there have been some efforts to reform the political system and increase political participation. In 2021, Kazakhstan held parliamentary elections that were deemed more competitive and transparent than previous elections. The government has also taken steps to improve the business climate and attract foreign investment. While there have been some positive developments in recent years, the political culture in Kazakhstan remains largely authoritarian and repressive. Other countries. Other countries may have different political cultures, depending on their historical and cultural context. For example, countries with a long tradition of democratic governance may have a culture of pluralism, tolerance, and respect for individual rights and freedoms. Countries with a history of colonialism or authoritarian rule may have a culture of resistance and struggle against oppression. United States. The United States is a federal republic with a strong tradition of democratic institutions and individual rights. The country's political culture values democracy, the rule of law, and freedom of speech and association. Political polarization and the influence of money in politics are seen as major challenges to the country's political system. China. China is a one-party socialist state with a strong emphasis on collective action and the authority of the central government. The country's political culture emphasizes stability, economic growth, and social harmony, and places limits on individual rights and freedoms. The government has been criticized for its human rights record and lack of political freedoms. India. India is a federal parliamentary democratic republic with a diverse society and complex political system. The country's political culture values diversity, secularism, and the rule of law, and places a strong emphasis on social justice and economic development. Corruption, inequality, and communal tensions are seen as major challenges to the country's political system. Russia. Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic with a strong central government and a history of authoritarianism. The country's political culture emphasizes stability and national pride, and places limits on political freedoms and opposition activity. The government has been criticized for its human rights record and lack of transparency and accountability. Conclusion. The political culture of a country is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, influenced by a variety of factors such as history, culture, and social norms. Understanding the political culture of a country is important for analyzing its political system and for designing effective strategies for promoting democracy, human rights, and social justice.